Hello everyone, welcome to Module 2. So here we go. This week we have a few things that are due. As I look at our list here, we have our concept map, our first concept map, and I have been getting a few questions on this concept map, and that's perfectly to be expected. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. And we'll be having our regular quiz as well. You'll see there's a kind of a rhythm and pattern to this course. Again, it's not meant to be a too difficult course. It's only 1 credit hour stretched over 16 weeks, so it's kind of a slow boat as we get to the other side of this thing in 16 weeks from now. So there's a little bit of work every week in that. But this week we do have our first concept map. But one thing I want to talk about is this area right here. So course news and updates. This is now set to your home page. So what that means is when you log into the course, this will be the first thing that you see. I like to do that after the first week of the class. There's that general information page that you see in the first week. After that, that knowledge is pretty static. Let's move that off to the background. And I like to bring in this course news and update page. So here you'll kind of see some relevant information with the course. You might see weekly video blogs. I kind of use this as a blogging section to keep you informed with any changes or updates in the course. So please make sure before you jump right into the module, scan this page and make sure there's no new news or updates in here as we go along. And if there is, make sure you stay abreast of those changes and watch my little videos. My promise to you is I should say my aspiration, I won't promise, but these videos will be less than about 5 minutes. All right, so this week I've been getting some questions about our first concept map. And the questions are kind of ranging a little bit all over the place, from how do I even make one, to some more detailed information about the concept maps. Please make sure you watch the video that's in the module. And I'm also going to post some additional videos, so here's some information below. So let's say you don't know how to make a concept map. Now there's a ton of ways out there to do it. You can just do some Googling. There are some apps out there that will do it. I would not recommend doing this on a phone, but you could easily do it on a tablet. There's some wonderful mind map, concept map apps out there for free that you can do them on a tablet and then export it to a PDF, and then you can then submit that as your assignment. So you could go that route if you're so inclined. Perhaps the easiest route, though, is just to make something in Microsoft Word. In essence, what do you need to do? You need to make shapes, little squares, circles, triangles, whatever. You need to make some consistent shapes, probably 5 or 6 different shapes depending on different content areas. And then you have to draw little lines between those shapes, and you got to put words. You can do all that through Microsoft Word pretty easily. It makes shapes and lines and words and all this stuff. So, but if you've never played with that before, I put a really detailed video below this video. So rather than me producing another one, there's a great one out there. I watched it. Goes through all the details, probably at a kind of a higher level. You can do things maybe a little bit more simply, but it shows you how to make mind maps, concept maps, org charts, whatever. Basically making little shapes, putting words, and putting lines in there is what we need to do. Now, as far as the details, again, make sure that when you look at the concept maps, go to the references that I have within the module. Concept maps are a little bit different than mind maps. In mind maps are more free, kind of a brainstorming type thing where you're mapping things out. Concept maps try to cluster things together in concepts, usually through a course of study. So you're learning something, and then you're organizing that learning into a way that helps you to conceptualize that information. Every concept map is going to be different for every student. They have some unique ways of bundling the information and connecting it to make it relevant for them. So there is a lot of latitude. There is no right or wrong answer with these concept maps. It's really very individualized and personalized to you. What I'm looking for when I grade these is that the student obviously take the information presented. There is certain chunks of information that's there. Did they make an attempt to organize it? Again, how you choose to organize it, totally up to you. Did they provide the correct, I guess, level of detail? So rather than just, let's just say time value of money or some other general concept, and then there's no, knowing that there's a lot of other detailed supporting information to that, if that's not mapped out, or at least somewhere on that document, in general, you want some more depth and detail in there. But they should not take terribly long to do. It should be pretty easy as you go, yeah, I need to, generalize this area, and yep, this supports that thought. Totally up to you. As long as you have that kind of detail. And the shape that you do it, totally up to you. Some students, as I said in one of my videos, they go more the classic, almost like an organizational chart with a top concept and then branching down. That's fine. I had a lot of students last semester. They did these really cool center out, so they had a main concept and then they kind of branched out into radiating spokes, kind of like an octopus. I thought that was really, really cool. But again, it's up to you. How your mind works, how it helps you to conceptualize the material. That's the whole reason we're doing this. It's not a bunch of busy work. It's really for you to try to apply, again, some organization to the information. And what I've found for learning is that, yes, you read it. That helps with learning, but also to play with that information, such as either writing it down, whether it's note cards or making notes or flashcards or concept maps. That makes the information a little bit more sticky. And then with the concept maps, I hope to make it a little bit more personalized for you and your own way of thinking. So there is that. If you put the work into it, you're going to get a good grade. I can kind of tell when someone's only spent about 10 minutes on it. They're just throwing some words out there, and that's where the grades are going to come down a little bit. So, but do take a look at the information below. Hopefully that will help you in making your concept maps, and then also kind of what kind of concept maps are about and how they should look. So I hope that addresses some of the angst, if you will, on our first concept map assignment. I generally, the way I grade, I know that this is something new for a lot of folks, so a little bit more lenient. Actually, a lot more lenient in the beginning with the concept maps, as long as you put a good faith effort, into it, knowing that I'm going to give you some feedback on that, and then the next round, if it does need any improvement, you're going to be spot on for the next round. So that's usually where the grading will ratchet up to a little bit tighter level, because we should have had that feedback going back and forth. Did you incorporate that feedback, and if necessary, needed to improve your concept maps? By and large, most students knock it right out of the box first go around. So there you go, concept maps. Taking a look at my notes, that's pretty much all that students have reached out to me on. I have opened up some of the modules. So what do I mean by opening up the modules? In that I have removed some of the restriction dates for you to go into the module. If you wish, you may work ahead a little bit. I'm not going to open up the entire course. I do want us to be somewhat all together on the same page. But if you wanted to work ahead, I am going to open up at least the next 2 modules for you. So if you wish, you can work ahead. Some students like to do that. And especially being a 16-week course, you may want some flexibility in balancing your workload. So let's say you're taking some very difficult nursing courses or some healthcare administration courses, and you got a midterm and final or something coming up, and you kind of want to have everything somewhat done for this course for a particular week. You could do that. Keep in mind, though, that when we do have discussions, if you have worked ahead, you have to kind of jump back in there and be active on that discussion week with those peer responses. But students have asked for this, and I see no problem in doing that. Again, I won't open up the entire course, but a couple of modules ahead, so you have a little bit of flexibility. All right, that's pretty much it for this week. Again, if you have any issues, feel free to send me an email. I will post my cell phone number below. There was another issue. I am kind of getting away from my cell phone because I have linked my office phone to my cell phone for voice calls. But texting is a pretty good method to get a hold of me. I'm kind of playing with both email and texting. Of course, I have my email client server on my phone, so I can get an email right away from you, similar to texting. So I'm probably going to play with both, and then I'm going to ask you at the end of the course, what do you prefer as far as your instructors? Do you like email or do you like texting? I'll be curious to see your answers. So we'll play with both. So what I'm going to do right below this video is I'm going to post my cell phone number if you wish to text me. I know I left that off the syllabus in anticipation of kind of moving away from texting to email. But I think this is a good opportunity to see which method you prefer to use. And I will have access to both on my phone, so I'll be able to get back to you pretty quickly. All right, I've already broken my first aspirational promise to you, and that was these videos to be under 5 minutes, but I think we had a lot to talk about for this very first update. The other ones should be shorter. All right, everybody, have a great week, and I'll check in with you next week.